So in this one, we're going to run through how to actually breathe properly for stuff like this. How we keep you guys, David O'Connor here from Doc Fitness, and this one we're just going to run through how to breathe properly, because we breathe roughly like 20,000 breaths a day, and a lot of people don't know how to do it right. So with this, like, we're looking at movement quality and more so safety of things like your spine, your lower back, because a lot of the problems that people get when they're training and they get lower back pain is they don't know how to breathe properly at all. Stress reduction, it's used for like meditation techniques as well, like diaphragmatic breathing, if you've ever heard of it, which in turn is going to help with sleep, recovery, stuff like that. So it's very, very important that you don't miss those basic other points too. So like if you're stressed off your head, you can use this as a stress reduction technique, going to bed, or a meditation technique as well. And then the last one is power output. It's actually called or coined a power breathing technique as well, and it'll make sense over time when you start doing it. But the basics of it is that we're looking here to minimize chest breathing and how to actually breathe into your diaphragm, deep into your belly breathing if you like. So that's basically it. We're going to get into it now with myself and Robbie, and we'll take it from there. So here we have our model Robbie. The first point is, when everyone breathes in the gym, they're going to more so take the breath up into the chest. So if Robbie takes a breath in, just take a deep breath in, Robbie. You can see he's all chest and nothing is down here. So if I hit him hard enough, he's going to be winded in that. But again, he has no stability or core control down there further as well. So if you translate that into a plank, just watch what happens when he does do that. Now already before he starts, you can see he's hanging down the lower back already. He's a breath technically taken in out to his chest, but again, like, he's loose in the middle here. If you let go of your glutes, Rob is so used to contracting his glutes in the plank, you can see how worse it gets. And again, all that pressure is coming down on his spine more so than actually activating his core. So Rob, will get you back up. So if he takes a proper breath in, down deep into his belly, the air falling in, and lock it in, Rob, he's solid the whole way around. He's got core control back now. And what he's looking for then in the plank is that he's going to have that solid locked in throughout. He's going to be actually working his core, and he's going to be stronger underneath it as well. So if he puts that straight back into the plank again, already you can see the differences here and see how solid he is the whole way throughout, and he's actually activating his core properly with that. So how do you actually start breathing? So I'm setting up Robbie here roughly about 90 degrees to that bench. So again, just sitting down with his bum down and heels on the bench. If you don't have a bench, you can do this kind of with your feet in the floor as well, but it's just handier for this. So what we're looking for here now is for Rob to practice breathing deep into his belly. So if you're someone who's starting out with this, who haven't a clue, this is the first drill you'll actually do. So if Rob is breathing wrong, alright, you can see a lot of his chest is going to start expanding up. So as he takes a breath in through his nose and out through his mouth, you're going to see the chest moving up. So if you can do arseways, Rob, first. Now Rob is so used to doing it right, it's actually hard for him to go back to a bad pattern again. But you can see the chest moving small bit there, right? Now what you're trying to do here, you're trying to minimize that as much as you possibly can. You're never going to get it right in the first go, so don't worry if it's hard. But if you take a breath in through Rob's nose, deep into his nose, and let the air fall down deep into his belly, and then as he blows it out through his mouth, his stomach should expand back down. Go out your mouth, Rob. So an easy way to do that is if you use your shoe. So as Rob takes a breath in, the shoe will expand up. As you breathe out, the shoe will just go down. And that's just to ensure that you're actually breathing deep into your diaphragm, right? Now, if your chest is still moving here, which a lot of time it will happen, you can take your hand and put it lightly on your chest to give yourself some feedback, because you can do this on your own to see, is that able to go up and go around again without the chest moving. And if you feel your hand go up and down, you just need to focus more on your breath with that. For the men, we tell you to breathe deep into your balls. For the ladies, we teach in the way where just imagine the air falling down deep into your belly. The easiest way to do that is from the floor. You can then practice it then once you get back up on your feet. So again, all Rob is doing here is he's minimizing the chest breathing side. He's taking the air that fall down deep into his diaphragm and expanding his stomach at the bottom basically, and that pressure is being pushed down the way we say, rather than out the way into your chest. Okay. Now what that does is that it's creating a tire-like effect around his stomach. So he's basically breathing in, he's bracing it up, and he's like a tire. So if he takes a breath and brace up, Rob, he's solid the whole way throughout. That's basically what you're looking for, solid, solid, solid. As he breathes out a small bit through his mouth, he's in a small bit of air out, and he can lock in again. So if he locks in again, he's solid again. So the idea here is you're able to take in a full breath, you're able to breathe throughout a movement, but not let the air fully out. Because if you think of a tire, if you let the air fully out of a tire, you're going to be flat. And that's the last thing you want with an actual exercise. So again, this can be practiced for like 30 seconds at a time, kind of relax up again until you kind of can fine tune that. And over time, we even have to take it back and redo this drill again if you find that the breathing pattern is just not fully there yet. But we're just going to show you briefly how to put it into a goblet squat, for example, because it's the easiest way to get started with doing it. So that actual aspect that we're doing, that's what I'm on about with stress reduction stuff. Breathing before bed, starting your day, that's what the meditation side of it is. And even when you do that, you'll feel how relaxed your body can become as well. So, how to actually put it into a movement then. Let's just take a goblet squat, for example. If Rob takes it up, right, he's going to take a breath in at the top of the movement, lock it in, do his movement, and when he's coming out of the movement or back at the top, he can get a little burst of air out and redo his rep again. So, Rob is just going to basically take a deep breath in like we're talking here, lock it into his stomach nice and deep, do his rep, and at the top he's just letting a small little bit of air out, and he's able to take a breath back in if he needs it again. So let's just do 3 reps at a time, Rob, to show him the breathing. So again, he's solid the whole way down there, he's going into his squat. And you can see the breath at the top of each rep. That's all that is. It's breathing without letting out your air fully at a time. Now if Rob did that, let's just do it without the dumbbell, Rob. If Rob did that without taking a breath in, the chances of him rounding over the bottom of the squat or not being stable, not being strong in it, are going to increase. Because he's coming down about here, he's going to lose his position here because there's no air in there, he's no entire brace, let's say, around his spine. So the chances of him rounding over are big. Now with body weight, that's fine, he's going to get away with that. But if he starts loading up with heavy dumbbells, puts a bar on his back, something starts going to happen like that where he's no core control at all, and that's where people are going to get pain over time. That happens in things like planks, push-ups, and when you're pressing stuff overhead as well. So this breathing can come into all those movements, like it's not just for the squat, so don't forget that. But again, it's just a basic introduction to how to actually breathe right, and you can start putting it into your movements. If we put it into a push-up, for example, just a quick inkling on how to do that. Again, you can take a breath in the top of the push-up. You can see how tight and tense he is the whole way down. His glutes turn on, abs turn on, let's go, Rob. Again, you can breathe at the top of your push-up, re-breath again. Again, it's awkward learning that straight off the bat because you're like, how is that going to make me stronger? But again, you're exerting pressure against the earth basically. So in a squat, if you're coming out of a squat and the last few reps are getting hard, you're going to push on. As you're pushing it out, you're able to explode to the floor a bit more than if you didn't have that breath. And for beginners, it's just a matter of getting started with this first. Over time, you'll see you can really fine-tune that breathing technique, and the stronger you get, the more the breathing technique is going to become more important for your training as well. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully there's a few takeaways in it there. The most thing you can get out of this is learn how to breathe right, starting from the word go, and actually use it for relaxing a bit as well. If you're stressed out as well at the end of the day, or you want to start your day a bit more relaxed and a bit more centered for yourself, just try it out with taking 5 to 10 breaths at a time, and you'll see how much that relaxes you, and kind of you realize the bigger picture with things as well. So again guys, if you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, click on the subscribe link if you want to keep up to date with these videos. And other than that, if you have any questions, comments, or like that, throw them under this video below, and we'll chat to you soon.